everybody, Kathy Tooley, Tools for Success. Thanks for joining us. So I want to talk about today reflection as a learning tool. Now some of you have never even heard what I just said. Reflection as a learning tool. I think it is the single most underutilized tool that exists out there. And that is because we are so busy in education powering through everything we, quote, need to do, all of the standards we need to cover, or the things that need to be taught, that we never ever give kids a chance to reflect on what it is they've learned or why they didn't learn it. So I want you to think about reflection differently. Think about the last time you did anything and it didn't turn out the way that you wanted. Whether that was a craft you were building, a conversation you were having, an activity you were doing. When you did it again because you reflected on what didn't work the first time. Most people don't continue to do the same thing over and over and get the same results of it not working. What changes the behavior is reflecting on what caused the results that you didn't want to not happen. If that makes sense. Kind of a double negative there. But let me give you an example. If I was trying to build a table, which I would not, by the way, but if I were trying to build a table and every time I put the legs in, they fell out, I wouldn't just throw the table in the trash. At some point, I would scratch my head, and I've done this with things, and said, I got to walk away from this for a second. I got to just walk away from this table for a second. And usually when I walk away from it, I'm still thinking about it, right? Still pondering, it's that leg and it's on the left side. The one on the other three are fine. What did I do differently? And because I've stepped away, at some point I'll realize I didn't put the pin in the leg. The other three, I had pins. I have to put that up there and then put a pin in and it'll make the leg stay. I go right back to the table, I put it in, I put the pin in, and now I have 4 legs. But where do you do that in your classroom? Where do you give kids an opportunity to, instead of just knowing I got it wrong, they already know that, where do you give them a chance to figure out, but why? But why did I give that wrong? Why did I get that wrong? Not give. So let me give you just one tip on how you would do that. Whenever you take an assessment, I always gave my assessments back to my students, and they had to go through any question they got wrong. And I gave them a chart that had it either had didn't understand the question, common mistake, or this is why. I thought that you asked us to add these 2 fractions. I didn't pay attention. You asked us to subtract. That's why. I didn't understand how to do the problem, so I got through the first 3 steps. I thought that this is what I was supposed to do. Really, not only powerful tools for them, but powerful tools for you. You won't have to tell kids they need to slow down. You ever said that to a student? You need to slow down. Slow down on your assessments. You're going too fast. When they get to look at their assessments and go, silly mistake, silly mistake, silly mistake, silly mistake. And then I always had them write a 1-paragraph reflection about their assessment. Not about beating themselves up. That doesn't do any good. What will you do differently because of the data you got this time? You'll watch. Kids will say things like, I got to slow down. I'm speeding too fast through this test. Not because you told them that. No one learns often. They learn some by you telling them, but most time we can learn by reflecting. So I want you to do me a favor as you walk away from this video and ask yourself this question. Where in my classroom or in my practice as an administrator am I allowing students or my teachers to reflect upon their learning? I always asked my teachers when they came to staff meetings quite frequently, if we had data that wasn't pleasant to share, I asked them to write on a reflective prompt that I provided them. Knowing what you know now, based on the data that you see in front of you, what should we do differently? And you'll find that they're often way more willing to do what I was thinking I could push them through. So try thinking of reflection as a learning tool and look for opportunities to build that into your practice. I think you'll find some major results. Don't forget to like, follow, share our videos, and thank you for what you do every single day and for being a part of our journey. Have a good day, everybody.